Pressure is mounting on Nigeria's national electoral body, INEC, after the illegal declaration of APC candidate Aisha Binani as the governor-elect of Adamawa State. An anticipated meeting at INEC headquarters in Abuja could not hold. The commission is now expected to meet today to consider the next steps. In the meantime, the resident electoral commissioner, Hudu Yunusa Ari, who illegally announced the result, has been suspended. The directive barring Ari from INEC's office came as the candidates of the All Progressives Congress APC in the Adamawa State governorship election, Senator Aishatu Dahiru Binani, approached a federal high court in Abuja for leave to file an application for judicial review of the administrative decision of INEC made on April 16 in respect of her declaration as winner of the governorship election held on March 18 and the supplementary election of April 15. Meanwhile, in the capital, Yola, supporters of the People's Democratic Party have staged a peaceful protest, while some APC supporters held a victory motorcade. Arise correspondent Mary Chinda reports.
It all starts with this protest at the state INEC office, staged by the PDP presidential and governorship campaign organizations, with a 72-hour ultimatum issued to INEC to complete the collation of results for the Adamawa supplementary election. The state PDP leadership is again demanding the sack of the state resident electoral commissioner for being partisan.
What Adamawa people are demanding is that they want the coalition to continue as INEC has directed, so that there will be peace in Adamawa State. Because people are not happy, people are disappointed with Hudu and those in support of Hudu. Our worry is that while Hudu was perpetuating this illegal action, those that are supposed to enforce the law were sitting there with him, and they could do nothing about it.
But the opposition party in the state, the APC, are having none of that. They instead embark on celebrations round Yola city in a motorcade. They say there is no going back on the pronouncement of Aishatu Binani as governor-elect, even though it was illegally made by the resident electoral commissioner rather than the state collation officer.
In my capacity as a member of the APC, I urge Fintiri to be an honorable man to hand over power to Binani, just the way he was handed power in the interest of peace.
We are hopeful to God that the woman Binani succeeds during her time in office.
There is no any communication officially from INEC to our party or to our candidates. So we cannot be acting on hearsay. So we are politicians, we know the intrigues. Some people are trying to demoralize us, to dampen our hope and aspiration, and we will not allow this to happen.
I think we should calm down and listen and wait what is going to happen.
We are aware that
At this press conference, the APC chairman in Adamawa State denies allegations that the resident electoral commissioner, Barrister Hudu Ari, was bribed into announcing Aishatu Binani as governor-elect.
we are concerned with the negative propaganda by the losers of this election, some of which are that Derek was bribed to make the declaration. This is a blatant lie. Our candidate was popular and did not require the manipulation of the process to win election. Those who needed to manipulate the process are the ones who wanted Derek to be illegally suspended by the two national commissioners on an observer duty.
As the electorate in Adamawa State brace up for the completion of the collation for the supplementary polls, the police has continued to assure Yola residents of the safety of their lives and property. Mary Chinda, Arise News, Yola.
Well, Dr. Abati, Mr. K, you can see what's ongoing in Adamawa State. Yesterday we had talked about the matters arising, if I do say so, in the supplementary elections in Adamawa State over the weekend, and what occurred with the REC and the returning officer being absent. Here's an update as presented by Mary Chinda. Dr. Abati?
No, okay. You go first.
I go
hear you first. You are new on this platform.
And thank you for
Yes.
glad to have you here.
It's such a joy to be here, Ruben, and it's such a joy to be here.
He'll be back soon because a number of people have been asking.
All
so
of us are
be,
missing Rufai, and we're hoping he gets back soon and in good health. But in terms of what has happened with this woman, Senator Aisha Binani, okay, I think before we have the conversation, we'll go to Mary Chinda. Good morning, Mary Chinda. What's happening in Adamawa capital, the Yola? What's the latest from there?
Good morning, sir. Good morning to everyone, Ayo and of course Dr. Abati. Well, Yola had actually moved from, the sweet peace that had ensued a couple of days before the election and even on the election day to anxiety and apprehension. No one exactly knows what's going to happen next. The people are polarized, torn between trumping up support for the incumbent governor, who's of course from the PDP, and then support for Aisha Dahiru Binani, who was, illegally declared governor-elect. From the report that I filed yesterday, while for the PDP, it's protest and protest and protest, for the APC, it seems to be a dawn of celebration. They seem not to be giving ears to the fact that the INEC headquarters had actually suspended the collation and as well as suspended, the illegal announcement of their candidate as governor-elect. So, I'm actually here at the PDP headquarters in the state, where protesters are gathering momentum for the day 2 of today's protest. They had given INEC a 72-hour ultimatum to complete the collation and find out what exactly the result is saying. So it's a mixed feeling, of agitation from the people, and of course some kind of tension mounting low-key as to what would happen if if this is not well handled.
All right, Mary, talking about being well handled or properly handled, has any INEC official come out to speak to the people, or any announcement from INEC in terms of when the continuation of the collation will resume?
Well, the INEC office is basically under lock and key. Even when the protesters had marched from this part of the city to the INEC office yesterday, it was heavily guarded by security men, and we've not been able to see or speak to any INEC officials. You know very well that the INEC headquarters in Abuja is actually on top of this, and they're trying to manage the situation, except for the fact that the REC Hudu Ari was actually suspended yesterday, and INEC had said clearly that they do not want anything, they do not want him around their premises. There's nothing more to be heard or said of INEC officials in the INEC office right here in Yola, the capital city of Adamawa.
We'll go back to Mary in a moment, but Ms. K, you were sharing your thoughts with regards to the updates from Adamawa.
My concern with all of this is that, first, let me put out a disclaimer. I'm a journalist of many years, broadcast journalist, and I don't support any political party. I don't have any party affiliation. On that basis, I see this woman as a representative of the women all around Nigeria and around the world. A lot of people are rooting for Aisha Binani to become the first governor in Nigeria. Okay, before I continue, let's quickly go back to Mary so that we can get to complete our conversation with Mary. So, Mary, in terms of what the people are saying to you out there,
in Adamawa State. When you touch the pulse, what do you feel? How do people feel? What are they saying by virtue of the fact that they're not getting any feedback from INEC or from government?
Well, for some, it's despondency. For others, it's whether INEC likes it or not, it's our person. She's already been declared, whether it's legal or illegal. We do not care about that. For some other people, it's that little tinge of fear as to whether or not INEC would get to do what is right this time around. The governor of Oyo State was here yesterday, putting aside party differences. Was here to pay what looked like a solidarity visit to his colleague, the incumbent governor, Governor Fintiri, here yesterday. Basically, the call of the people is that maybe, just maybe, INEC would be able to redeem itself and would be able to do what is right. But like I said, for other people, it's we do not care. She's already been announced and we're going to go ahead. If it means, putting up a fight, we might as well just put up a fight, because the faces of the young people that I spoke to yesterday at that roundabout who were having a motorcade was that feeling of, you know what, we're just going to go ahead with this. You can't stop our celebration. We're just going to go ahead with it. So it's neither here nor there, but basically the people are polarized, torn between the APC and the PDP on another hand.
Well, Mary, two things. I'd like you to tell us a bit more about the security situation in Adamawa, not just Yola, but the entire state, based on information at your disposal, because that's, the real thing that we all have to be concerned about. And please, Sister Mary, I see your dressing is different. Sister Mary, I hope you have not been abducted. I need a clarification on that score.
Yes, Dr. Batsi, it's good to care about, the security situation right here. I'm also dressing like this because, I have to blend. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So, the thing is, the police and the security personnel right here are also waking up to the situation. They are not sleeping and they're not turning a blind eye to the fact that this, if not well handled, might actually turn into full-blown violence. Now, even at every point here, at every checkpoint here, it looks like the security men have almost doubled from what we saw on Saturday. At the motorcade rally that the APC were having yesterday, the security men were even doubled. They were in control. At the protest from the INEC office yesterday, the security men had also doubled. So the security, the police PRO had actually assured me when I spoke to him that they were not sleeping. They were actually doing a lot more work after Saturday's polls to ensure the safety of lives and property, especially for Yola North, because that's actually where, for Yola, the state capital, because that's actually where I am right now. And like what he said, he's not. The police are also not sleeping across the other 20 local government areas in the state. But most important right now, if you come to Yola, it is quite secure. The police, as well as other security apparatus, other security personnel, are putting in the work to ensure that lives and property are actually safeguarded in the state capital.
Well, thank you very much, Mary Chinda, for your report. We look forward to getting updates from you in the course of the day as to the developments in Adamawa. Well, just, Mr. K, you were saying you're just trying to finish your thoughts, and then I'll come to Dr. Abati before we move on to...
Okay, so very quickly, I will say that it's sad, it's unfortunate what INEC REC has done. The Resident Electoral Commissioner has spoiled, has practically destroyed what would have been a massive celebration of a shift in the dynamics within Nigerian body politics. The one thing I want to appeal to it will be Senator Aisha Binani, that whatever she does, she should make sure that she stands on the moral high ground. Moral high ground for me means that she's in that position where she's not supporting illegality. Moral high ground means that she's in that position where she's not supporting criminality. She's in that position where she's not encouraging something that you know should be declared as null and void and supporting it and seemingly saying that she has won the election when all the results have not been announced. There are those of us who are feminists, who support women, who encourage women, who want to empower women, but we don't want to do it on grounds of illegality. What has happened is wrong, is condemnable, is not acceptable. Her position should be clear that let's get the right results and let's move from that. Ruben.
Okay, two things. I think the matter is as follows. INEC summoned the resident electoral commissioner and also the returning officer to Abuja. We were told that a meeting will be held yesterday. Well, apparently, the resident electoral commissioner, now described as a rogue resident electoral commissioner, did not show up. But INEC proceeded later in the day at the end of that meeting to announce that that resident electoral commissioner, Hudu Yunusa Ari, has been suspended and also has been told to stay away from INEC office in Adamawa. The administrative secretary of INEC in Adamawa State was then, in line with the law, appointed to take his place. And then, that's the situation. But our position stands. Our position is that the resident electoral commissioner in Adamawa State, having violated the law within the purview of Section 64, Section 65, Section 66 of the Electoral Act 2022, and having acted in a manner that will amount to a breach of the public peace within the purview of Section 249 of the Criminal Code, should in fact be declared a wanted person, having not shown up, and he should be immediately arrested for behaving in a manner that could cause mayhem. And the sum total of the report by Mary Chinda would seem to tell us that the situation in Adamawa State is a very delicate situation. You have the PDP protesting, you have supporters of Binani, saying they've been declared winner. Now, no individual has a right to cause that kind of tension, anxiety, potential chaos within any part of this geographical territory known as Nigeria. And that is why, my position is that there must be investigation and the law must be allowed to take its full course. That's the first leg of the matter. What is the second leg? The second leg of it is that Aishatu Dahiru herself has now gone to a federal high court in Abuja, filing an ex parte application. The purpose of the ex parte application is that she's seeking another certiorari and also, an injunction to ensure that INEC does not take any further step to conclude the process in Adamawa State until the determination of the matters that she has put before the court. Okay, in my view, there's nothing wrong in anybody going to court. If you are in doubt about anything, if you are aggrieved about anything, the place to go is the court. And you don't take the laws into your hands. But what it means to any right-thinking, reasonable member of the Nigerian community will be as follows. Namely, that in fact, Aishatu Dahiru has been convinced by our lawyers, and this is a rogue season also for some lawyers who are supposed to be officers in the Temple of Justice, that she can grab this thing. Look, Nigerian democracy, and this is morality now, not law. I have no issues with going to court. Go to court, as we say. If anything happens, go to court. But the morality of it also is that, don't disrupt this system because of your personal ambition. Because Nigeria is more important than individual ambitions. But it may well be a useful exercise for the courts of law to look into this matter. But Nigeria, I hope, will learn the lesson from this. And the bigger lesson to learn is that when politicians behave in this kind of disruptive manner, and they are joined by officials of the state, We saw it before in 1961-62 in the Western region, when you had the Western region crisis. All of this was all about contestation for power, for position. And we had Operation Wettier. And Operation Wettier, from Operation Wettier, the First Republic collapsed. Our duty, our responsibility as stakeholders in this enterprise is to insist that we should not fold our hands while other people try to break down this country. Adamawa should not become another Western region of 1961-62. And that's why I think the president has a responsibility, the various institutions have a responsibility to wake up and stop the debacle in Adamawa and ensure that justice is done.
Absolutely. Well, debacle, as you've described it, matters or events still unfolding, and we'll definitely bring you updates here on Arise News.